Yeah. I forgot to do this. And I think this will be the last Dragon Priest before the, you know, the one at Skaldathan. So it's a green one. That's all I remember. Funny enough, this quest depends on two things: either what faction of the Civil War you joined, or who you escaped with Helgen with. Since we haven't started the Civil War, it's going to be based off. Yep. Since we left with Hagwar, it's going to be this.
You there! As an officer of the Imperial Legion, I require your assistance to complete my mission.
What mission?
The General has sent me to obtain a powerful weapon for the war effort. This was the last great bastion of the Dragon Cult, and their leader's mask was reported to be quite powerful.
What can you tell me about the Dragon Cult?
They were among the first men to arrive from Atmora, and they worshipped certain animals as avatars of the gods, dragons being foremost. And for their bloody sacrifices, the dragons gifted their priests with terrible power. But their cruelty was too great for men to bear, and they rose up in what would be called the Dragon War, and the cult swept from the land.
What can you tell me about this
It
place?
seems that after the strength of the cult was broken in the Dragon War, a last contingent came here to create a stronghold and regroup. King Harold's forces crushed stragglers here during the First Era, and it has been haunted ever since. But the specifics of the siege are unclear.
If it will help the cause.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
The research I've done seems to indicate that Skorm Snowstrider left part of his journal here after laying siege. I believe it should indicate how to enter the blocked-off sections of the stronghold. I should warn you, Forelhost is quite haunted, but I'm sure you can handle it. Return to me here once you've obtained the staff.
So, if you didn't notice, this guy is not an Imperial soldier. He's a... Since, basically, depending on which side of the Civil War who you escaped Helgen with, he'll be either a Stormcloak or an Imperial soldier. But it makes zero sense for him to be a Stormcloak soldier because he's a High Elf. And the Nords don't really like the High Elves because of the Outmare Dominion. Speaking of them, you will proceed to the ruins of Frosthost to retrieve the mask from the Dragon Cult there. If you are discovered, impersonate an officer. It is unlikely that anyone from Skyrim will be clever enough to see through the disguise. Once you have obtained the mask, bring it to Labyrinthian. And Labyrinthian, as we know, is this place, which we go to during the, you know, College of Winterhold quest line. And there's another thing there that does relate to the Dragon Cult. Well, a lot of stuff there. It used to be the capital, but you'll see what I mean by the Dragon Cult relationship there. And as you know, the College of Winterhold, the Thalmor had a very good interest in a lot of powerful artifacts in Skyrim. So, yeah, he's a Thalmor agent disguising himself as a soldier. And I just find that funny. Like, the Thalmor are such arrogant, cocksucking bastards that they think everyone who isn't them is such a fucking idiot that they would never see through the disguise. Maybe, since he's an Imperial soldier, yeah, I can believe probably some High Elf guy joined the Legion. I can believe that. But if it was a Stormcloak soldier, it's harder to believe. But goddamn, Jesus Christ. Like, the Imperial soldier one's a little bit more believable, but, like, since everything in Skyrim and all the Thalmor and, like, the relationship to the... Yeah, Jesus Christ. Well, let's go. I would be more likely to find... Yes, I would be likely to find a Legionnaire who's a High Elf than I am to find a Stormcloak who's a High Elf, because the Stormcloaks are mostly just Nords. Nationalists, so it's both sides of the Civil War I don't really like that much, and there's big holes, there's big flaws in the Stormcloaks that makes them kind of as bad as the, well, not as bad as the Thalmor. They're not planning a genocide or anything, but like the Nords don't really respect any. The Stormcloaks don't really respect anyone who isn't a Nord, and you can see that through dialogue and just how their culture is mainly. Rodolph, the guy you can escape Helgen with and you meet at the start of the game, he is a Stormcloak who doesn't have this ideology, so I think there's a good chance that not all Stormcloaks have that ideology, that Skyrim is just for the Nords, blah blah blah. Because he's honestly, like most Stormcloaks are, they don't trust the Empire anymore and they want to break away from it because honestly the Empire's been doing a shit job lately. And I think that's an understandable thing. But just sadly that most Stormcloaks are also heavily racist and just don't respect anyone who isn't a Nord. So they have that big flaw to them, which they're actively being racist and discriminatory and want to kick out people out of Skyrim who aren't Nords. That's their big flaw. But them wanting to break away from the Empire, I think that's an understandable thing for them to do. That's why I respect Rodolph. I wish we had more characters like Rodolph so we can see how complex the Civil War is. We would see Stormcloaks arguing with each other with their ideologies of we want to break away from the Empire, but then you will get the Stormcloak extremists like we see mainly in Skyrim. But yeah. Because I do believe there's probably more people who have similar views to Rodolph who just want to break away from the Empire because the Empire is doing a shit job and he believes Skyrim should be free from the Empire, which is, I guess, understandable because Hammerfell got free, but sadly most of the Stormcloaks depicted in the game are depicted as nationalist racists, so yeah. Even the game shows you constantly that the Stormcloaks are racist and they don't respect anyone who isn't a Nord and would honestly probably would try to kick people out who they don't trust, and it's sad because you get to see this yeah, it's just a whole conversation. That's why the Stormcloaks have their biggest flaws is their nationalism and how discriminatory they are and how racist they are to anyone who isn't a Nord. It is sad that they will assume that any elf have something to do with the Aldmeri Dominion because they're elves, which sucks because a lot of elves don't like the fucking Aldmeri Dominion. In fact, a lot of high elves probably don't like it. It's just sadly that the high elves that didn't like it, they got sent to they got basically sent somewhere or were killed to silence them by the Thalmor. Because yeah. The Thalmor is an organization that is very, very similar to an organization we had during the Great War, which I'm not going to say because I don't know how much trouble I can get for saying it, but you know who I'm talking about. And let's just say that a lot of people during that country around the time didn't agree with them either, but they didn't exactly have a choice. Which is sad because the Thalmor are obviously way worse than the Thalmor are planning to enslave humanity. They basically say this in combat. Elven supremacy is the only way. That's what they say to someone they think they're about to kill, but sadly they're trying to kill the Dragonborn. So, yeah, you can tell how that ends for them. Yeah. I'm sympathetic to the Stormcloaks cause, but I'm not sympathetic to the nationalism and the extremist part of the Stormcloaks, which sadly is the majority of it. Rodolph is one of my. I love Rodolph, but he's even shown at the start of the game. If you're not playing a Nord and he tells you you should join the Stormcloaks, he will say Skyrim is not just the land of the Nords. The fight to free Skyrim is not only a Nord's battle. You have the right to. Which is why I respect him, because he honestly believes that anyone can be a part of Skyrim, and he wants Skyrim free, and I respect Rodolph, and I don't know if... And that's why it makes me sad that the Stormcloaks are all fucking pieces of shit, or are depicted mainly as pieces of shit, and that Bethesda made most of the Stormcloak soldiers voiced by like the same cut dialogue of just random, oh, next Imperial dog I see is dead. Oh, damn elves, blah blah. You know the whole classic stick. And I would love to see if we would have got to see more Stormcloak soldiers or Stormcloak sympathizers who thought and viewed more of the world like Rodolph does. Because but mainly what we get are just a bunch of racist quotes and just naivety, discrimination, racism. Although I think the Thalmor Dominion is way more racist because they don't. It's a whole. I could go into an entire fucking video about this. Yeah. If you want to know who I particularly will side with during the Civil War, who I'm siding with the Empire. But at the same time, I don't think the Empire is doing too good either. So I don't like either side. The Empire has its flaws. It has its many flaws, and they're basically bending the boot to the Thalmor. But they had no choice, and they're trying to build up enough to fight the Thalmor. But we don't know if they can, and they're doing a lot to appease the Thalmor, but they don't really have a choice in that. But it's just a whole lot of bullshit. It's sad. But yeah. Now, General Tullius, there's a lot of things I like about him and I don't like. He's smart enough to know that the Thalmor is the real enemy. Even Ulfric somewhat says, well, Ulfric does know the Thalmor is an enemy, but he's so naive thinking that he can handle it on his own, which probably he can if he has a Dragonborn on his side, but that's not, I don't know. But, yeah, it depends. But, like, Tullius knows that the real enemy is the Thalmor. He needs the key. Like a lot of the Empire sympathizers you see, especially Hadolf and General Tullius, who is, you know, the fucking general in the Empire. Hadvar and General Tullius both mention this, that the Empire needs to stay strong together and prepare for the next Great War. Which is true, but you already lost Hammerfell. You don't have Morrowind anymore. All you have is Skyrim, High Rock, and Cyrodiil. It's not looking too good for you. And maybe the Empire is already doomed, and that is something that could be said. And now I do agree that yes, we probably should need to stand together and prepare for the threat of the Thalmor, but you're not giving people a reason to trust you. You've already basically are letting the Thalmor do whatever the fuck they want, ruining people's lives. So I can see why Skyrim needs to break away, but I can see why it would be detrimental, but I can also see why staying would be detrimental. It's a whole big fuck up of the events. Like the Thalmor, this is why I can't wait for Elder Scrolls 6, because they're obviously building up this whole political war. Like the second Great War is being built up. In fact, the Great War is called the first one by the Thalmor. The Thalmor are clearly planning on the second one, because they had to postpone their plans because, well, at least the Empire and their allied forces were able to make the Thalmor have to, you know, postpone some of their plans. But yeah, it's a whole group thing. Yeah. I do hope, I am going to join the Empire. I used to join the Stormcloaks when I first played this game, but, well, when I first played this game, I just joined the Empire because that was the first option that showed up to me. But, then I started joining the Stormcloaks. It was like, oh, free Skyrim. That just sounds obviously kind of just like, oh, rebellion, okay. But now that I know more and I play this game for a while, yeah, I can see the flaws in the Stormcloaks and how they're nationalists and they're kind of not really good. Because most of the Stormcloak sympathizers you see in this game, except for a couple of them, are racist, naive, and just short-sighted bigots. And really fucking stupid. Except for like a couple. But yeah. Rodolph being like one of my favorite Stormcloaks because he's like he has the objectively correct way to look at things, I think. But obviously sadly the only cause that's fighting the free Skyrim right now is the Stormcloaks, so it's a whole lot of things. And the Stormcloaks have like a fucking dumbass as their leader, an arrogant dumbass, who even one of the Stormcloak sympathizers that people might not like at first glance, but whenever you get to know him a little bit, yeah, he does say the line, Ulfric is a devil, but he's the devil I know well, something along the lines of that. Which, yeah, he can see the flaws of Ulfric, but he Ulfric's the only one going and actively fighting against this at the moment. So, like I said, this playthrough I'm going to be joining the Empire, but I don't have that much hope for the Empire. Is the only thing that could possibly save the Empire, which is not going to happen, is if either the Dragonborn joins and builds up his. If the Dragonborn takes care of the problems in Skyrim, which you mainly do, and you can end the Civil War. I don't know how it's going to happen in game. We might not even have the Dragonborn involved in the Civil War canonically, but if he was, he either I would say he probably I don't know what he would have done, but let's say he ended it, and he honestly, the best hope for the Empire is if the Dragonborn builds up enough credibility and makes enough connections, which you kind of can do, and goes up the ranks and kind of gets a hold in the political foothold and becomes the next emperor somehow. Who knows? And then he takes the shit to the Thalmor, and I believe he could do it himself. I believe your character can probably give the Thalmor a lot of trouble, because you basically fuck around with them a lot in Skyrim, so I'm pretty sure I can fuck around with them mainly by myself regardless. It doesn't even matter if I have armies. Imagine if that Dragonborn had entire armies. In fact, you kind of do gain their support of dragons by the end of this, because you kill Alduin, and dragons respect strength, so it's clear that all the dragons after you beat the game respect you, so you can have dragons follow you into battle to stop a tyrannical threat of the fucking Thalmor. But like, it's built up too easy. You build up the Thalmor, but then at the end of the Skyrim, you have a character who can obviously and has good reason to stop the Thalmor. But the best thing you have to do, you gotta get rid of the Dragonborn, because if you don't get rid of the Dragonborn, you have a literal walking fucking demigod that can literally solve every problem by just fucking shouting at it. Well, not every problem, but you know what I mean. He can probably make the Thalmor not be as threatening as they are very easily. But I guess we'll just have to see what happens in Elder Scrolls 6. Because, who do y'all sympathize with, the Empire or the Starlooks? I say the Empire does need to remain strong and prepare for the next Great War. That is probably the best way to defeat the Thalmor. But at the same time, they're not giving people enough reason to trust them anymore, and they're losing a lot of footing, and it's sad. The Mede Dynasty is not doing that well. So, yeah. And I was talking about General Tullius. There are things I don't like about him either. I don't like how he's blatantly just very disrespectful, and he said something like when you go into Castle Dour, I don't know why this always rubbed me the wrong way, but he says something really dumb. Because you know, Commander Laernet, I can't say her name right, I'm sorry. Basically says more people join the fight. They're planning an attack on Whiterun. More people are joining for Ulfric's cause. And General Tullius is like, it's a rebellion, not a cause. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? A fucking cause is okay. A cause by definition is something people fight for. A rebellion is something people fight for. So by definition, a rebellion is a cause because it's a cause to fight for. The rebellion is a cause, same way as eradicating all Nords is a cause eradicating all humanity and enslaving them is a cause for the Thalmor. The Thalmor cause is to eradicate and have elven supremacy. To enslave the humans, blah blah blah. That's the cause of the elves. That is a cause. So would have been a rebellion. It doesn't matter what the thing is. It is a cause, you dumb fuck. I don't know why they just he just sounds so I do agree with a lot of he says, but goddamn, that's like the stupidest thing he ever said. That it's not a cause, it's a rebellion. A cause is a rebellion, you fuck. I mean, a rebellion is a cause, you. I know, and I don't know, that always rubbed me the wrong way. I'm sorry. I know I sound stupid talking about this, but you dude. Me fighting the dragons to save Skyrim is a cause. Me fighting the vampires with the Dawn Guard, the Dawn Guard cause. I can keep going. I don't know. That's the stupidest thing I like. The one thing that rubs me off about General Tullius is how he says that. Like, how could you even call this a cause, Laerret? it's probably because because it is by definition a cause. It doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it for something to be a cause. Because I don't agree with the Thalmor doing, blatantly trying to start a new mirific era where the elves enslave humans, like the ancient aliens did. So I don't agree with that. But I'm going to say that's their cause. It's the cause they're fighting for. It's the cause they're working towards. It is a cause. I don't know why. That's like, dude, I can think of so many funny lines if you ever actually make like a Skyrim show or something of the Dragonborn just being a smart ass of General Colliers after that. Just imagine like whenever he's going to start the Peace Council bullcrap, he's like, well, dude, like, I'm sorry to say this, by definition, a rebellion is a cause, you dummy. And he just lists off multiple reasons. There's so many smart, funny jokes you can like make someone. I don't know. I just stuff I think about daily. Sometimes about like some stupid, smart ass remark you could give General Charles for saying something so stupid. Okay, I'm going to say that's a stupid thing to say, and I don't know why it rubs me always the wrong way. I just find it funny and at the same time annoying. Like, more people join for the fight Ulfric's cause. It's a rebellion, not a cause. Dude, a rebellion is a cause. A fucking... It's a cause, dude. If it's a fucking... has people... If it has armies and people rising up to fight for it, it is a fucking cause, by definition. I'm sorry. I don't know why there's always with me. Who do I side with during the Civil War mainly? I guess I'm more Empire lenient now because it's. I'm lost. I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. I'm too busy talking that I'm not focusing on what I'm doing. Wait. I think we're supposed to be backtracking. Fuck it, we're opening this. What the hell? Maybe my rants are annoying and y'all can't understand me, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna probably try to do more Skyrim content that I'll actually start to write scripts for and think about what I'm saying, or maybe I'll just freestyle it like I always do. So who knows? Who could ever know? Okay, this is what I was looking for. The political landscape of Tamriel right now is chaotic, and yeah. I don't necessarily completely agree with the Empire, and I definitely don't completely agree with the Stormcloaks because they have massive flaws, and I don't think anyone agrees with the Thalmor, so they're just blatantly evil. So guys, yes. Oh yeah, did you know that the Thalmor took credit for solving the Oblivion Crisis even though they had no proof of it? They just started saying they did, and some people believe them even though there's a fucking statue of a dragon inside the Imperial City that proves otherwise? I'm just gonna say that. If you look at the stuff the Thalmor did, they did a lot of bullshit. They did a lot of bullshit. The entire reason the Khajiits are allied with them is because they fucking got scammed. Or they got manipulated, because like eventually there was like these I can't remember what they were called, days where the moons, Maska and Secunda, just disappeared. And you know, those are important to the Khajiits, because they basically dictate what kind of Khajiit you are when you're born. So those disappearing is kind of not really good for the Khajiit. And they disappeared, and then they suddenly reappeared, and the Thalmor said, oh, we did this, we did this, we did this. Which either implies that this just happened randomly and no one knew why, and then they just took credit for it. Or what I think is that they did some shit with illusion or something to make the moons disappear, and then after a while they just brought them back, or made them reappear. and said, well, we did it, and that means that they basically fucked around with the entire Khajiit culture just to get them allied with them, which is fucked up to begin with. And we're not even going to talk about the shit they did in Valenwood. There's a reason Malborn wants to help you against the Thalmor. Which is sad that, like I said, some Stormcloaks extremists think that any elves have to do with the Thalmor because they're elves, and it's sad because, like, Wood Elves got fucked in the ass by the Thalmor. They didn't choose to join them. They got basically left no choice. It was either die or continue. It was either die or join. And even then, the Thalmor are still mainly superior elven supremacy. Well, that's not just elven supremacy, it's Thalmor supremacy, high elf supremacy. So fucked up. It's sad because it, like, you know that one of the first quests you probably do in Skyrim, like with Spin and Thandal. Spin will actively make his incriminating his fake letter from Thandal is basically Fangball claiming he's a fucking Thalmor. That just sucks because the only reason you do that is because Thalion's an elf, but Thalion's a wood elf. He's not even a high elf. It's so fucked up that the elves, goddamn, like people treat the elves like some people look down at the elves now because of what the Thalmor are. No, the wood elves got just as fucked in the ass by the Thalmor as you did, if not more so, because they had they burned cities to the ground, and oh my god. God damn, we need to solve the Thalmor problem. That's probably why this is going to be in Hammerfell, because Hammerfell, you know, kept fighting the Almeri Dominion, and they put up a good fight. I hope we get High Rock and Hammerfell, but it's probably just going to be a Hammerfell. I want to have the Iflak Bay region again, like we did in Daggerfall, but just not just a part of Daggerfall and a part of Hammerfell. I mean, not just a part of High Rock and a part of Hammerfell, but I want all of it. I want all of Hammerfell and all of High Rock, but we're probably not gonna get that. Because I want to have some piracy going on in the Ifliak Bay. But yeah. And we're getting close to the Dragon Priest. Dumbass! Oh, that didn't hurt his either. Oh, well, Yo, Chrysor! Archery's so fun in this game. I still have a bunch of enchanted gear that I need to throw away. I think I'm done ranting about the political scheme of Tamriel right now. Political scene. I love archery. I love barrel archery because this is fun to just keep continuously pummel people with arrows. I want to use other arrows that are weaker, but the Dragonbone arrow is just, it just kind of feels weird not to have the aesthetic. Fuck! I'm just gonna stop speaking because I'm gonna continue embarrassing myself. Hey, where are you? How did that not hit? But yeah, if I think the Dragonborn joined the Legion and got high enough in it, I think he would have a claim to probably overthrow the government or probably rise up and get voted or nominated into the role of Emperor. I think that would be something possible. Now, like people say, well, there's not a need for the Dragonborn Emperor anymore after what Martin Septim did. Yeah, because Martin Septim, yeah, he did make it so it's not required for there to be a Dragonborn Emperor on the throne for Oblivion to come fucking people's asses. But maybe the want and desire for a Dragonborn Emperor is still there because, well, in the past Dragonborn Emperors used to actually be very good, but the Mede Dynasty's kind of been fucking up recently, so maybe there's not a need necessarily for one, but there's probably a want for one. And let's be honest, Tiber Septim and Reedman didn't exactly become emperor because there was a need for one. They became emperor because they wanted to be a fucking emperor. They didn't exactly like, oh, we need to become emperor so we can light the dragon fires. No, they were like, armies, battle. I'm emperor now. Political schemes. I'm emperor. You know, they didn't exactly just like, oh, I'm gonna be emperor now because I'm dragonborn. They fought and earned that. Let's just put it that way. I mean, hell, they didn't just like, oh, I'm gonna be the emperor of you guys now, and then people were like, okay. No, they were like, I'm gonna be the emperor of you guys now. I'm gonna diplomatically talk to you about it, and also if that doesn't work, I'm going to burn and pillage your province until you do what I say. Yeah, they kind of. There's a reason Tiber Septim conquered Tamriel. He didn't just. Yeah, Tiber Septim conquered Tamriel. He didn't exactly, you know, just yeah, there's a reason that the Numidium got destroyed. It's because he used it, and he used it to conquer he used it to conquer the High Elves at Somerset Isles. Don't blame me. Somerset, Shivering Isles. They're both S words. Okay, it's not my fault that I get them mixed up sometimes. You're just asking me to get them mixed up. I do know the difference between them two. But like when I'm going on rants sometimes, and talking before I think, I might sometimes mix them together. God damn it. But yeah, I do think there's a want for a Dragonborn Emperor. Not to say that your character might necessarily want to be the Emperor, because, well, like, that's a lot of responsibility, man. Like, I'm kind of busy trying to talk to this vampire goth chick right now. I don't want to do that. Where the fuck said Oblivion's fucking lockpicking tartar? I want to kill someone. God damn it! If this was Oblivion, I would have had this done in a minute. There we go. What's behind here? Where the fuck is the lever? Oh fucking hell. Oh. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know why I'm still opening these up, because like 10. I think I'm kind of rich enough at this point, but who cares? Okay. Sorry about this. Yeah, I got the perk just for the sake of filling out the archery thing, but I kind of don't like having you guys just fall flat on your ass. Sometimes it's funny, but like now I kind of feel like it takes some of the fun out of the game. I will say this. I think I do like a lot of stuff more when, like, aesthetically, this is what I'm talking about. I think my favorite aesthetically Elder Scrolls game is probably Skyrim, for just the setting of the game. Because I like Nordic and Norse stuff, so yeah. I do like Celtic and Nordic, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And Oblivion was mainly just high fantasy. Morrowind's very interesting, but I do like Morrowind stuff. But I think I just like Skyrim a little bit more. And plus, besides that, like Skyrim and Morrowind has a lot of ancient history together because of their close proximity, and they kind of overlap sometimes. So there's that. So yeah. Which is probably one of the reasons I knew a lot about Morrowind lore when I played Skyrim so much, is because, well, they kind of, like I said, overlapped a little bit. Because you had like a bunch of I think you had Nord armies during the events of Red Mountain. The Battle of Red Mountain, that, you know, when they found the Lord of Horicon, blah blah blah. I do like how Skyrim also uses like very ancient threats into their games, like the Dragon Cult, Alduin, well, that's kind of the same thing. And then you got the ancient Volkerhall vampires from like the fucking late Second Era, and then you got fucking Miraak. Like, you have a lot of just like the ancient Skyrim and the ancient the past and the present colliding a lot in Skyrim. That's basically the plot of Skyrim, and I love that a lot. I'm talking in such a weird angle that I made my throat hurt. We're kind of fucked, aren't we? At least I have the Astronaut Stone. I'm doing more damage to this guy than I am to his minions. It's probably what I get for waiting to do this until I'm 78. I forgot! I'm sorry! Why am I starting to swing faster again? I guess I just get momentum or something. I don't know. I don't know the mechanics behind this. I forget. Boss! Brother! Yeah, that was pointless, but I don't care. Goodbye. I do actually like the mask. Aesthetically, it looks cool. I think the brighter colors for the mask is kind of cool. But we all know what the best looking mask in this game is. I just wish the hoods look a little bit better. I don't like how the hoods are shaped. I don't like the frown of the mask, but yeah. But I was saying, the ancient Skyrim mixing with the new Skyrim is a lot of thing I love. The past and the present colliding is something good. Y'all would probably think I don't even speak English. No, English is my main language. It's the only language I really know. I mean, I learned Spanish because of school, but I'm fucking shit at Spanish, and I probably don't remember a goddamn thing about it so far. I'm gonna have to be doing more of it later. What the fuck are you? Oh yeah, I forgot this Creation Club thing exists. Yay, I like this. And our good old buddy's going. This Stormcloak is stupid as hell. That's a Thalmor, you dummy.
Oh, hold on. I can explain.
Well, anyways, the mask is mine. Ooh. Don't mind if I do.